We are getting a behind-the-curtain glimpse now of the drama among Democrats in the months before the 2024 election. Here is one nugget. Former President Obama reportedly did not want the VP Harris to replace Biden as the nominee because he thought that she would lose. Want to bring in Karl Rove on this, and there's still some pieces to be filled in on this, Karl. Here's Jonathan Allen, co-author of one of the books, one of the two books out right now, earlier today on Fox and Friends. Watch here.
She's like, Joe, you have got to endorse me. So they go back and forth on this before Biden does it. Obama definitely did not think she should be the Democratic nominee.
He would not endorse that day either.
He would not endorse that day either. She talked to him. He said to her, I don't want to put my thumb on the scale. She was disappointed, but not necessarily shocked, because he's been behind the scenes trying to undermine her for the last several weeks before Biden even got out.
So what he was pushing for apparently was like a mini primary or open convention. And remember, Carville had that piece, I think it was the New York Times, around that time. He was pushing for the same thing. I don't know how Hillary Clinton fits into all of this, but you're up to speed on it, Karl. How do you analyze it?
Well, at the time, what I was hearing from others, Democrats, was that it was Obama and Hillary, and it wasn't necessarily that they were opposed to Kamala Harris. There are two ways to look at this. One is that they were against her and wanted to have somebody else. I think a more accurate portrayal is, while they had doubts about her, but felt a process of a, quote, open convention would strengthen whoever ultimately became the candidate. Remember, Obama came on the scene in 2007 with a fantastic announcement in Springfield, but then stumbled through the spring and summer of 2007. If you talk to the Obamaites, they think he became a better candidate by having a primary process, and I think that governed his attitude towards replacing Joe Biden. It'd be better to have a, quote, open convention, and even though it would be truncated, you'd have 6 or 8 weeks at most, but it would make for a better campaign and a better candidate. I think that's what they were thinking.
Well, one of the most coherent thoughts Biden might have had at the end was that Kamala Harris wouldn't be a good candidate against Donald Trump. That turned out to be true. There's another book written by Chris Whipple, and it talks about even the former chief of staff, Ron Klain, saying this, that Klain was startled. He'd never seen him so exhausted and out of it. Biden was unaware of what was happening in his own campaign. The president was fatigued, befuddled, and disengaged. Klain feared the debate with Trump would be a nationally televised disaster. And yet, Karl, watch here. This is just a reminder for everybody of how Democrats were defending Biden.
I don't deny that it was a bad debate performance. That's different than whether or not the president is up to the job. He's clearly up to the job. He's doing it every day. He's doing it successfully.
His mental acuity is great. It's fine. It's as good as it's been over the years.
He is as sharp as ever, as I have known him to be in my engagement, in my experience with him. And I know when I walk into the Oval Office or see him on Air Force One, I have to be on top of my game.
As happens with these books, Ron Klain yesterday said, my point wasn't that the president lacked mental acuity. He was out of it because he had been sidelined, not because he lacked capacity. I'm not sure I believe that, Karl.
Yeah, I don't. And no, look, they have to do this because they were part and parcel of a gigantic conspiracy to hide from the American people the fact that Joe Biden was simply not up to the task. They were more concerned with making certain that he would be the candidate than they were with what the country needed and what the country deserved. This really, should make us angry. These people knew that he was not up to the job, and yet rather than go to him and say, Mr. President, it is time for you to call an end to this and allow the Democratic Party to nominate somebody else, they put him into this campaign, put him into that debate. One question that we really ought to ask is, who agreed? Who thought a June debate 3 months before we've ever had a presidential debate? Who thought that that was a good idea? Because I think that person might have had the conviction that an early debate would show that he was simply not up to it and result in what we saw, which was his withdrawal from the race. But all these people saying now, oh, you know what, he really was up to it. Who are they kidding? We all saw it, and we all knew it.
Yeah. Karl, thanks. Not the last book either, right? I guarantee you that. Thank you, Karl. Nice to see you today.
Thanks,
In
Karl.
Austin. Thank you.